bro. Uh, Next up, let's talk about the uh, New York City congestion prices. Said right. So New York City, as you guys know, the five boroughs: you have Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, where I'm from, and Manhattan and the Bronx. So you get the five boroughs, and they, for many years, when you go through the five boroughs, they never charge you. They never charge you. While as a kid, you go from the Queensboro Bridge into Manhattan, no charge. You drive in, you only gotta pay some parking meters and parking garages, and that's it. Now, now, I don't know this lady name. I think she's the governor of New York City now, or the state. I don't know what her name is, but she ended up putting this into the city. It will cost up to $27 to drive into Manhattan. So from 60th Street downward, you need to pay. Yeah, pay. Right here, I have a picture, and it says that from it's the purple one, and there's a red one. Purple one is Easy Pass, which is like when you go through the city, the Easy Pass, little tiny let me say something like this, like the size of this. You put it on your car, and you go through it. So you put that up there, and you just scan it, and you pay it. It takes out your account every month or so on. Every time you go through it. So that's the cheaper one, but if you don't have it, it's more expensive. So if you go to Lincoln Tunnel, it's $22.06. For with the Easy Pass without, it's $27.31. The Holland Tunnel, $22.06. With it without it, $27.31. The High Carry Tunnel, I've never been through that tunnel. Is that new? I must have been living in New York mostly my whole life, and I've never even heard of that. But $12.94 for Easy Pass without $20.19. Birds on a Bridge, $15.94 with it, without it $20.19. Brooklyn Bridge, $9 with it, without $13.50. Manhattan Bridge, $9 with it, $13.50 without. Williamsburg Bridge, $9 with it, $13.50 without it. Queens Midtown Tunnel, $12.94 with it, $20.19 without. And Ed Koch, my bad, well I should say, Queensboro Bridge, $9 with it, $13.50 without it. Yeah. The reason why they're doing this is that they want to have the city less congested. It's been over 150 years, maybe even longer than that New York City has always been congested. Has always been. And you're charging people this. Why? Because you're losing money from the MTA? You are? What are you doing with that money? You're not doing nothing with it. I literally took subways mostly my whole life. My whole life. The only time I didn't take the subway was when I lived in Florida for about 6 to 8 years. When I went to college from 2015 to 2022 or 2023. That's the only time I didn't take the subway because I was living in a whole different state. But I never, ever, ever see the MTA spend the money where it should be spent. Never. There's so many areas in the city that they could spend on the subway system. Better subway carts. Better. You can even make some different routes. You can put it down the tunnel. It's easy. You put it. You just dug it. You just do it. You have billions and trillions of dollars you can do to improve the city. You can add air conditioning in the subway carts. Even the subway platform, we'll be sweating our balls off when we're down there during the summertime. It's just so much money you can put into it. And what's even funny well, not really funny, but like what's even crazy is that people were getting pushed onto the track. I think it was like last year, maybe sometime last year, and they ended up putting those like fake line rails, those like mini rails that you go to like the water park or something when you're waiting online, like those mini ones, and like it's like so far apart the next one that someone can still push you over into the track. Like it doesn't make any sense. So and they don't even have it everywhere. They have it in specific spots in the city. They don't have it in Lexington Avenue. They don't have it in Queens. Like they don't have it in the Bronx. They only have it in Manhattan mainly. Those little rails. And I can picture it cost them like a few $1,000s to put that in. That's nothing. It just gets me very angry because as a native New Yorker, I love the city. I love the city. Why would I not come back up here? Why would I not come back up here? If I didn't like New York City, I would not come back up here. No. But I just love New York. Even when I was a kid, I love New York. I lived some of my life in Long Island. I lived some of my life in Queens. And visiting families a lot. I just loved New York. I just loved the atmosphere. I love, being in New York. I love going to games. Love the food. It's home. I feel comfortable here. And I just hate the fact that they're just mistreating the city like it's garbage. Like, it was never, like when I was a kid, I would watch the news with my grandmother and I would see certain stuff. I would see some stuff. My grandma was into the news for the city. Like she was very, very into it. And I never saw stuff like this. Like you had this, you had the migrants doing all this, you got them getting money from this. People were getting attacked on the subways, on the platforms. Like what world are we living in? And it's like I don't get the fact that people don't stand up for themselves like we used to in the past. I get it. The laws are way different now. Even when you do stand up for yourself, it's like you're the one getting put to jail even though you're doing the right thing. Like even with that girl who got lit up, she should have watched her surroundings, which I'll say that, but doesn't make any excuse. Nobody should be lighting no one else on fire. And that was just messed up, bro. And it's just and the guy who was illegal. And we don't know what's going on with him. It's not like he's gonna be going to jail for good or getting put back to his country. Who knows? But this city is just, it's not what it was. Trust me, if I was the president, the governor of New York, state of New York City, I would do stuff. But I'm not into politics. It's too corrupt. Too much stress. It just gets me very angry, bro. Like, people just do the right thing. That's all that matters. Like, it's not hard to do the right thing. It really isn't. The only time you don't do the right thing is like if you try to do something to help someone in a good way. In a really good way, you gotta be a little bit like corrupt a little bit. That's fine. Doing the right thing. But don't do corrupt doing a bad thing or doing, not caring about New Yorkers. Like you gotta just trust me, if all the New Yorkers that used to live in New York City were living here right now, they're all going to be up in roar about this. I know that for a fact. Because I still talk to some. Even my mom was mad about this. She doesn't live here anymore. She doesn't really like here anymore. But she loves New York too. And it's messed up, bro. It really is. yeah, man, it's just us as a society, we need to do better.